Roll.
3, 2, 1.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Well, welcome back to the Meta Sports League studios and the DigiFan podcast. We're here again, fellas. What a great game, Jeff. Last night, that was wonderful. Thank you for taking us to the Wild game. So fun. What an awesome game. Classy after.
So, Doc, let's set the scene.
Yeah.
It was L. Teagues, something called Peanut. It was JC and Doc. I was out of the lineup.
We missed you.
I felt missed, and here's the thing.
Yeah.
First of all, I
like the specs.
I'm trying to look like you.
I do like them. It matches. Kind of got a little
it
matchy
blends.
with the
It
hat.
blends.
I hear the eyes too. It makes them pop. So
It does.
it's funny because
what's
I
going on
think
with
they
that
look.
sweat stain?
I think they look awful, but every woman that's seen them in them said those are great. I'm like, oh god.
Not including your mom, though.
She's dead, so she can't.
Oh, okay. Wrong subject.
No, it's good.
Okay.
She lived a full life, died of Alzheimer's.
Okay.
Anyway, so we're
Aw,
good.
sorry,
I'm joking.
buddy.
No, it was wonderful. I mean, I could go off on a whole podcast on that.
Yeah.
Dealing with Alzheimer's and
must have been
someone
great.
that, yeah, she was awesome. So anyway,
Yep.
but I felt like I'm seeing a few pictures early. Then they faded away. So when the pictures faded away, I was like going, uh-oh. Is this like a scene of The Hangover? And then I determined that you were Alan.
Oh gosh,
That's
I don't know
good.
about
That's
that.
good.
That's funny. Though. That's
Someone
funny.
has to be out.
Well, so
Someone
you
has
guys,
to be
you
out.
guys had a great
You're
time.
like pointing to Doc over there.
you guys had a great time.
Oh, my God.
Burnsy's Bradley Cooper.
I will say this. I will say this.
You're the dentist.
No, it was a total
Oh, I
blast.
hope so. I hope so.
Total
I mean-
blast. Todd and I actually, had a couple meetings in the morning, and then I went and took a nap, and unfortunately
Almost didn't make it.
didn't make it almost. But
Did you have a therapy session in there?
2 of them. No,
What were they?
no, Doc. What happened, Doc? Your shoulder was bad.
A nap is code for passing out.
Yeah,
Well-
we just took care of Doc yesterday.
Doc is ailing to the degree of I'm a little concerned because I'm watching him move around.
You see that too?
Yeah. And I hope you're okay. And we're probably not going to hear the hearty laughs out of the Doc that we're used to because he's like bitching in pain.
I can still laugh. I just cannot
You can't
Is it
bob,
upper?
get a full breath in.
you can't,
Okay,
bob, you
is it-
can't
is it-
bob the head.
So,
I will say
dude,
this.
like, I feel so bad. Is it middle, upper? Where is it? Is it around the
It's-
cage?
It's around the cage on the back side, left side, and my pinky and my ring finger are going numb.
Yeah, it's a serious deal, especially with a Doc that uses his fingers. I have a numb thumb.
Are you
and
sure
I
you're
can't
not
put a
having an
button on
episode?
right.
No, it's been for a couple days. I noticed it right away, but it wasn't terrible. I thought it was just muscle.
Is anybody here CPR?
I was helping
certified?
my brother take out his liner for his rink.
Okay.
Which brother?
Swede.
Okay.
Swede. Big Swede.
Big Oak.
But yeah, great.
So honestly, is this something where if someone stuck an elbow in there, that would work?
Yeah, I mean, that helped. That was yesterday.
But that was temporary.
That was temporary.
I told him to put a
Okay.
lot of ice. You have to really
You-
take care of yourself by putting a lot of ice on.
Inflammation.
Yes.
You know what I do? I'll take a 4-banger, which is 4 Advil. That's prescription strength to you.
Okay.
And then I get a baseball. I lay on it and I just rotate that sucker. It's
Yeah.
better than anybody's elbow.
Right.
Poof. I'm cured.
Yeah. I do.
You can feel it
I do-
crackling.
I do a golf ball in a sock, and then I can just move it wherever I need it. Instead.
At least it's just a golf ball.
When he had the therapy
Sorry,
session,
nobody got
when
that.
he had the therapy session
On a board.
she says, "Where does it hurt?" He should have said what he said to us, but instead he said, "It's in my groin."
Oh, jeez.
What?
So have you ever had any back issues, Peanut?
He's too young for that.
I know, that's why I'm asking.
Have
you
you had back issues?
Yeah, have you ever had like anything that like where you can't breathe and it sucks?
Not anything to that extent. No.
Well, look what you get to look forward to here.
Yeah, look forward to. So wait, so you guys got some. You guys went to the tanning salon. You got the
I
massages.
know, looking sharp.
What else? What else did you guys
This
do
is
yesterday?
natural.
This is
before
where it was
we-
kind of becoming a hangover thing.
We got a little.
He's waiting for it. You're waiting for them at
I
the
just-
hilltop.
I
Yeah,
wanna
we
say-
got a little sidetracked here with the story.
JC's sitting here waiting for his turn, and I just want to say, I love your wardrobe, man. You got. I'm not kidding. Like you get sweet vests, you got sweet jackets, you got sweet. I like it. I mean, it's a really standout. Yeah.
Did he go?
back there.
So
This guy's sharp.
So tell me, was your look?
I've got a consultant.
Was your look
What's
more
his name?
from the financial sector?
It's her.
Were you going out in the financial sector last night,
Darcy.
or were you or were you more of a North Looper last night? What were you doing? Or were you a combo?
No, we were hockey fans.
Yeah, totally.
We went in as hockey fans.
Hardcore.
Yeah. It was
Okay.
fun.
We were yelling wild.
And we
Where
were
were the seats?
Such good seats.
Oh, such almost middle ice.
yeah.
How high up?
There's a lot of thought that
right
went into those seats.
20 rows maybe?
We're-
15, 20 rows?
Yeah, we're right above the
yeah.
glass.
Yeah, right on top.
We'll look right over the glass, lower level, 20 rows up, 4 seats on the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
Did
So
you
when
buy
it's when
these?
it's time to drop, these are season tickets,
Oh,
and I have 10 of them.
10 games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, we got a couple more to go.
Okay,
Cheers.
so wow.
So, and I was gonna say real quick though.
No, that's my last game.
We were
You're a season ticket holder, and we'll get into that.
we were such good fans though. We
Partial.
showed up
Partial.
for the very end of the first period. I know. I probably shouldn't have said that and outed us, but that's what happened.
What?
I'm gonna take.
That was the
I'm gonna take
Hey,
blame.
and
I'm gonna take
Burnsy
the blame.
issue.
It helps though that we went to Zamboni's on 7th, right across the street, and then we.
Okay, so it's a little bit self-inflicted. What time did you get down
Totally
to
self-inflicted.
St. Paul?
timing wise, I don't know exactly what time it was, but I know that we were
7 about
Because
10, 20,
we were there for like the last
10 to
minute.
6?
10 to 7.
Oh, so the game started at 6:30.
Yeah.
It did start a little
And
bit.
you guys
early.
get down there 20 minutes, and then when you guys are coming to your seats, all those guys are, look at these assholes. They thought the game
Well,
started
no,
at 7.
So what happened was we pulled up and there was probably about a minute or two left when we actually got to our area before we went down to our seats, and we're like, well, rather than going down the end of the first
Were you
period,
stressed?
we ended up just getting food and
that was,
drinks.
that was when the Boldies got his first goal.
Were you stressed,
Actually, it got taken away from him.
JC?
He didn't get that first goal.
No, he got the first goal. There were 7 seconds left in the first period.
From that wrist shot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying
That was the second period. That was the second period when he got the
one. Yes.
Yeah, that
But
was
I'm
the
talking
second
the
period.
one that he
With
flicked
seconds
in.
left.
They
Yeah.
gave it to
Oh,
Peugeot or somebody.
Goudreau.
Thank you.
But anyways,
Was it tip?
yeah, we weren't.
That's what. they
Okay,
said.
let's go back. I'm more intrigued into the social dynamic.
Yeah, the social dynamic was
Okay.
great here.
The game, who cares?
Yeah.
So were you? I'm feeling a little body language.
We
Hang on.
left Hilltop at 6:30. Puck
Okay,
drop
so
time.
you're pissed at this stage because you're wanting to be there at 6 based off of our. Because you said early. Okay,
We
so
should
I'm,
be
I'm-
there.
I'm sensing body language here that you were a little bummed.
Well, it's
Is
his
that
last
fair?
game. So his last game.
You know, I didn't show it. I was having a good time.
he really didn't show it. I will say that.
So if you didn't show it, that meant you felt it.
Oh my gosh,
No, we were good.
Wow, this is great.
it was good. It was
No,
fun.
I would have been bummed if Bernsey hadn't showed up.
oh, you know.
But
I'll
he-
tell you
but
what,
he-
that-
he did
we
So
show
you
up.
were sleeping.
we
you
were,
guys
like,
get down
minutes
there,
away.
but you guys could have gotten in there probably midway through the first. But instead, you're going to take a couple more bumps. You're going to go to the ZAM.
The worst thing about having season tickets is when it's not very well planned. That's you gotta put a
Yeah.
plan in place.
Yes.
Yeah, because do you have parking
Spontaneity
passes?
does not work with going to a game.
We
Do you
did
have parking
Uber.
passes?
Uber.
We Ubered.
Yeah.
No parking.
Way
lots.
easier. Thanks, Doc, for the Ubers too.
Wow.
Greatly appreciated.
Yes, sir.
It wasn't just any.
How
Uber.
was it? How was it
like
getting out of there?
Cadillacs.
How was
I
getting
would
the
say
Uber
that
getting out of there? Was it seamless?
our Uber driver really enjoyed hanging out with us for that 25-minute run.
Oh, absolutely.
both ways.
had-
Both ways.
Your Uber driver had no choice.
No, he was he wanted to punch out, and if Bernsey hadn't shown, he probably would have been the fourth.
It's probably true. He was ready to go.
Yeah.
He was ready to go. You did offer him.
He's like, I want to hang
And
out
it
with
was
these guys.
yeah.
we
How was the crowd in terms of?
electric.
Now I was doing the Gopher game on
Totally.
that test thing, and I was doing the Broncos 2-1 double overtime win over the Mavericks of Minnesota State Mankato, and I had one eye on that. It felt for long periods of time that Minnesota didn't have the puck at all. So were the natives getting restless at any point when it was 2-1 Caps, or were you not in at that point?
No, I mean, I felt like we were in that game the entire time. But I
Talk about the shots on
I
net.
mean, honestly,
Yeah, the shots on net was very interesting. We
I
can talk
think,
about that.
Yeah, that was huge, which you pointed out right away.
Yeah.
It's like we had 5 shots.
Yeah, we had 5. We were missing the net
A lot.
a lot. But I will say, like, we need a guy like Boldy to perform, and last night he came to play.
100%.
Yeah, and he is, the guy has such great hand-eye coordination. That's the game winner that he got was quite. I mean, if you look at what he did in front of the net,
Very skillful.
yeah, very.
If he can
skillful.
keep moving, he could have 70-plus points, which is
Yeah.
a career high.
Yeah.
So
He's
they
killing
they,
it.
they
He's
made some
killing it.
comment last night that Kirill said that he thinks Boldy is the most talented. He's got the most talented stick handling skills in the NHL. Kirill said that.
Wow, that's big coming from
real?
him.
Yeah.
And that goal, if you go back and watch it, I mean,
Sick.
everyone around us within like 10 feet that we could make eye contact with and high five, we're like, did he really just do that?
Yeah.
I mean, I was blown away to see. I mean, the stick control, puck control, like just how everything, and you're skating too, going around defenders. It'll never fail to amaze me how talented and athletic some of these hockey players are.
Agreed.
when you're doing it on knives
Yeah.
at a high rate.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's a big win for them.
Huge.
What was really tough to see is while I was doing that game, I had an eye on the scoreboard, and I saw that the lowly Preds were up 2-0 in the third period, only to see that dissipate to a St. Louis Blues win, who continue their torrid pace. So they're 2 points behind the Wild. Wild have an extra game. But the Blues they keep winning.
Yep.
The Blues, to me, though, aren't the problem. They're not going away. The problem is the Calgary Flames,
Yeah.
who lost to the Dallas Stars 3-2 yesterday. And they're stuck at 79 points. The Wild picked up their 2. They're at 87. And I've been saying from the very beginning that this is a race to 93 points, is what I've...
Yep.
Remember that?
You said 90, but yeah.
No, I'd never say 90. 92. No, it's always 92 to 93. It's one of those two. And we'll have to pull the tape on that.
Pull the tape.
I'm very confident of that. And I did say at the time the Wild needed to have 7 wins about 2-3 weeks ago. They needed to go 7-11 to finish off the regular season. And they're inching their way to maybe that pace. Maybe. And
So you don't think we're going to get there?
that every 2 points they get to get them closer to 93, I think, is huge. Calgary losing. If Calgary wins last night, Calgary's got 2 games in hand, and they're winning. So if they win those 2 games, they're now 2 points behind the Wild. And the Wild play them at the end of the year, where? At home, where they don't seem to do as well.
Are you
Clearly.
still feeling, as you said before this game last night, that they're going to collapse?
I feel like they're in the middle of a collapse, and every time I say that, they win a game and pick up 2 points. But they
Keep saying that.
But I'm going to share something with you, and this is reality. Okay, the Wild versus the Winnipeg Jets last 3 seasons, 3-8. They're on a 7-game skid with no wins in the past 2 years. They were that was a 3-1 win in 2023 against Dallas. The Stars are 11-3-2 in their last seasons, including playoffs against Minnesota, including 08-9. Now 0-9-1 in the last 9. They did have a 3-2 OT win on December 27th, but in their losses they've been outscored 35-10. 2-8-1 against Colorado, and also 0-5-1 here in Minnesota in the last 3 seasons, including the playoffs, 7-6 against the Blues, including 3-1 this year, buried when they needed to win that 5-1 game. But they're 11-20-1 dating back to the 1920 season. They have a 15-33-3 record against those 3 teams, those 4 top teams in our division, with a .313 win percentage, which sucks. Against Vegas, 0-8-1 in the last 3 seasons, outscored now 36-17, and 1-8-1 since their Game 7 loss in 21. They're 3-6 against the LA Kings in the last 3 years, and then they're 6-4 against the Oilers, including 57-39-10 all time, and they're 3-3-2 against the Flames in the last 3 years. That is like, we're getting into a good chunk of the Western Conference. That's bad. That's just bad. That's not good.
I think.
No.
And that's why they are where they are.
I think
Kaprizov or not.
the outlook for the rest of the season, I think is the vagueness around the injuries and not really knowing what's going on with some of their injuries and when they're going to be back. I think the players, obviously, on the inside know what's happening with Eck and Kaprizov. And I think if there's a path that these guys are going to be back, like you said, they're going to start skating soon.
They did yesterday.
Yeah, if there's a path to actually get them involved in the playoffs, I think that will directly correlate with the effort that this team puts out for the next couple of games.
What we do know is
if they're not available and they know it, I don't think we're going to see this team do well.
It was reported yesterday.
But if you think that if they have a sliver of hope, even that they're going to be ready, you think
then
that
we want to
will
reach the playoffs.
Mike
and see what happens.
Russo reported yesterday on the Barrero show that the two are going out, the injured players, to the East Coast swing. They're not going to play. But it does he did say it does make sense for Kaprizov to go to New York because that's where his surgery occurred, so he can get a checkup, maybe get cleared. If they play, it won't be until the end of the season. And the one thing that Russo noted was that John Hines said they're week to week, and like, we're on weeks, dude. We got 2 left, So like, that's not, it's
that's like a very vague way.
So they're in this really weird deal. The reason there's a
part.
reason why I went through that litany of teams.
Yeah,
those are all teams that they could face in the playoffs. Yeah. They're one and done. So what you're doing is extending it for 4 or 5 more games, and they're out.
Yep.
Which also will directly correlate to the effort. I believe if they don't think they can win it, then what's deep in their mind, their mindset, they're not going to work that hard to
I've
get
seen 2 things. I've seen a team at home through this whole stretch where you feel that like it's sort of like that's a lot of work to get to that.
Right.
That's a lot of work to battle. But then you get like then right when you start saying that, then last night there's almost like 2 personalities. They fight their way out and they do it. So this team is. I'm not like ripping it. I'm just stating facts. Yeah. You suck at home. Yeah. Your penalty kill is horrible.
Yep.
You suck against the top teams in the West. This is data. This is real. Yep. It's a fact. So none of that is changing, is what I'm saying, over the years. And I think it's become. I asked about the fans. Like, I don't know why people keep going back, like, to just get beat over the head year after year after year. I mean, at some point, people have to say, enough.
Question.
There was a lot of Ovechkin jerseys there last night.
There's a ton.
Okay, so I had my phone because I was doing this, and it looked like a lot of white and red.
Oh, yeah.
It did.
Question.
Like,
so
hundreds of Ovechkin jerseys.
What did the data read about the Capitals yesterday and the Wild? Were the Wild supposed to win? Because I don't think so.
I didn't look it up, but the Wild beat them both times this year. I think they won in Landover, and then they won here as well.
Anything could happen at any night.
But they played very well against the East for some reason, and they have.
I'm just saying, like,
but they play well against the East.
I get data and all that, but if they come up to play, they're going to be fine. I think any night, any team can go out and kick some ass.
Yeah.
Hot goalie.
What I see.
Hot goalie, for sure.
But when I see if they finish in the 7th spot and they play against the Vegas Golden Knights, 4 and done. That's not even close.
Yeah.
So why even show up?
That's what I say.
That's the big question is.
Like,
I think you're going to see that in their effort.
How high can they finish, do you think?
7. They had a shot to, but here's the problem.
Without Kaprizov.
If they finish 3rd in the division, then guess who they get to play? Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
We own your ass.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
And so that's not good. Or Colorado. So your reward for finishing 3rd is to play in a series you have no chance. And then I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to have everybody pile on me and say, you're an idiot. But you know what? Show me a reason why I should feel differently.
Yeah.
And I don't believe one player
is going to make the difference.
I don't. Now, I do think that I get the feeling, again, guessing, that Eck will be in the lineup sooner than the other, than Kaprizov. Maybe. But here's the bigger thing. If you're the Minnesota Wild, then you're going to, you've clearly said, we're going to get off our checkbook. Yep. And we're going to pay you 97. We're going to pay you.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Like, he's hurt all the time. He's becoming, is he Buxton and Lewis now? And now Brooks Lee?
Oh, no.
No, but I mean, I did another numbers because I love it.
Yep.
At the pace he played his first couple of years, he would have gotten to 1,000 games in the NHL in 12 seasons. At the pace now, over the past 2 years, it would take 17 seasons.
Wow. Yeah.
And so there's something real to that. And part of what makes greatness great are when players, Ovechkin, can stay on the ice all the time.
He does.
He never gets hurt.
No, right.
No, he had the groin
always on
issues
the
that we went over with Jack Blatherwick, helping with that.
That was a huge deal for him too.
But that was like 7, 8, 9, like
Right.
early part of
Since
his
then,
career.
He's just been clean.
Right. He plays. You look at 81, 82, 81, 79, 81, 82. Somehow, if you have the ability to stay healthy, that puts you into the greatness category for me because winning championships is about skill, talent, and health.
Well,
and luck.
He's one that will take a puck to the face, lose a tooth, and still show up for this next shift, right?
Oh, for sure.
He doesn't care.
For sure.
He's not going to miss.
Now, when you watch him, did you guys ISO on him at all?
That what?
Did you guys isolate on him at all?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Barely moving.
He's barely moving. I would say he's not back checking.
He's
He's
just
kind of
sorta-
just right in the right
Yeah, he
space.
sorta cruises around.
Cerebral.
And then
He didn't used to do that.
He does.
He used to go up and down and bury people.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a
He
very,
still can
it's
when
a
he
very
wants
different
to.
style of play.
But
now.
think about this. He could break Gretzky's record, having broken what they did tell us it was his fibula. We knew that. It wasn't undisclosed lower body. He broke his fibula. He came back.
Still playing.
And he's got, 36 goals, 37 goals.
Yeah.
In 56 games.
Well, there should
And
be
he's like 80.
asterisks.
He's like 80 years old. It's incredible. I think that's amazing. Like I think
right.
when you guys did you feel like you were in the midst of greatness? I mean, I asked that honestly. Did you feel like, well,
I mean, he doesn't skate like
he doesn't. Yeah.
I would
In this-
say like when Kaprizov first came in, he just looks different than everybody else out there.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that quite as much as he used to when he circle the entire
Remember
zone
he'd
by
fly?
himself.
But I think there's, and I know this is kind of like a.
But Ovechkin doesn't play that like that. He's just
Yeah.
He doesn't
he's
need to, though.
Cerebral.
It's different, but as kids say my age, there's that aura, there's that just presence that a player brings into any locker room, any arena, and like I said, I think that's something I've still noticed. He still carries like that greatness with him. It's not like, oh, it's just Ovechkin. It's like, no. Like,
Well,
it's-
when you see a bunch of
Knows how to score.
Capital shirts, right?
That
at our
too.
home,
I mean,
that
hundreds.
that's a lot. It says a lot about
and
the
those
player.
are locals that are wearing it mostly.
Oh,
probably
I'm
too,
sure. I'm absolutely
So the
sure
one
that
thing,
is.
the one thing
Sure.
that I hammered on that local Wild team pretty hard here, saying you said don't even show up. yeah, fair enough. Now there are a lot of things that are good. The goaltending has been unreal.
Yeah.
Really, really good. But their level of compete and their give a shit factor is super high. And every time I'm burying them, they come back and win. And I go,
Right.
dang, look at this. But I mean, the guys they know in that room, and I believe that they know in that room. I'm not in that room, but I believe that room is really good. I believe that. And I think they know what the common deal is, that they got to get to the post to get these two studs back. They know that's their job right now.
And I also believe that they believe in that room that they can win.
I do
Every
too.
night that they go out to play.
I do too. They
are
just have to
not-
make the choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I mean by that,
Yeah, no,
some
it's
of those
true.
games just seem like don't you know what I mean? Like it feels like some of those games. It's like, where are we here?
Yeah.
like and the Wolves fall into that. But it's hard to do over 82 games. I understand.
Yep.
But right now you don't have a choice.
And after getting beat, it's like
To their credit, they built so many points up. They banked a ton of points in December.
yep.
That it basically put them there. Doc, how you doing over there? You coping?
I'm doing good.
Did
I'm
you
doing
find a good position?
Yeah, I kind of sitting on one cheek.
Fetal.
Does it hurt to lay down?
I want to.
Not too bad. It's not that
I feel
bad,
so
boys.
bad for you, dude.
It's not
Like,
that bad.
I've had the pain, it's the worst.
I'm internalizing your pain right now. I feel bad.
I just
He's
thi-
channeling it.
This side of my body
Feel
just
bad.
feels really weak.
I'm
like
concerned about that.
Wags.
Well, if it feels
he'll
weak,
be in Cancun
if it,
soon.
If it feels weak, that means it's hitting that nerve, right?
yeah, something's.
And if that
I think it's a
nerve is
lower
being-
back.
if
It's a
that-
lower back deal.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh,
Even if your
sciatic
fingers,
nerve or whatever.
even if your fingers are being affected, that's kind of like neck issues.
Could be neck. Could be neck. Could be.
Anyways, if you're losing weakness or strength, they're saying that that could be obviously the nerve, and if it's permanently
Aging.
pinched, then that's a serious deal. That's when surgery happens.
No, I got you. I don't think
He's
this
a
is
doc.
it.
He
I
knows.
think it really is more. I just threw my back
Impingement?
out. Yeah, helping my brother. So
I will say this: if
At least it was hockey related.
No,
First,
no
I will
good
say
deed
yes.
goes
If
unpunished.
he-
if he's on the plane heading south, he's gonna have to sit there. It's gonna suck.
Yeah.
But the
He's a doc, though.
Wild over the course of the the Wild over the next 3 games, I think we'll know where they're going.
Yeah.
If they can get a
Yes,
split
we
with
got Wags back. No more collapse. I like it.
No, if they can get some points in the next 3 games and get some separation and push Calgary back, I think that becomes a lot better. Believe it or not, I do get concerned looking at the number of home games they've had that they just played and coming because they are so bad at home. I mean, a 500
you
record
think there's
doesn't
really
do it.
something to that? Or is it
They've
just,
got a 500 record
just
at home.
unfortunate?
It's terrible.
You can't
Bad
be
luck.
unfortunate
Just
over
bad
40 games
luck.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's there's a
good.
pattern of some sort that's mental or whatever it is. It's real.
You
The
should
home,
always play better at home.
well, that's conventional wisdom, but like again, clearly it proves the fans don't mean shit because if they did, they'd put skates on and they go win. They don't mean anything. It doesn't. And so I think there's something to it. I'm not sure. Okay.
Getting well.
Let's downshift.
Downshift,
I
okay.
still think Aaron Rodgers is in the mix.
You think so?
I've been saying that the whole time.
So have I.
they're probably waiting till after.
Well,
Compensatory picks.
Yes.
I was
I think it's
Is
going
that
to happen, and he'll
June?
be here for 1
June
year,
1.
and that's it.
June 1st?
your boy Rob Brzezinski was at the Hilltop last night. Speaking of,
Try-
we need to get Hilltop as a sponsor with all the name drops.
You know what? I think you're right. We should
We
probably
do.
do that.
Yeah.
That should be an easy
Yeah.
slam dunk.
Here's my take, Rob or not. Do you think for a second that Rob and the contract guru he is that what he does?
He's the
Salary
cap
cap.
Salary
space guy.
cap.
But he's on the team. He's on,
You know what
he's
I
in the front office.
Do
He knows what's going on.
Do you think for a second that they got a guy that's going to man this multi-hundreds of millions of dollars of payroll with a repaired torn meniscus knee who's played exactly 0 minutes of regular season games and then have Rippon as a backup and then allow every other backup quarterback to fade away without a plan if they don't have something in place? I don't buy it.
Well, he was very honest about it and said that they won't rule it out. They've been in conversation, and
Is that being honest or is that being slippery?
well, he's just basically saying
Do you have a deal?
it's not the A plan.
Well,
I think they want Tannehill, man.
It's the B plan.
Yeah.
That could be.
What's the A plan?
JJ McCarthy is the A plan, and if somehow he doesn't check all the boxes,
Can't happen.
But
Too soon.
But when are they going to decide that? Like, is it in OTAs?
well,
is
no,
it in?
no. The thing is
I mean-
Rodgers doesn't need to be at OTAs. He doesn't need to be in camp.
No,
I
not
fully
at all.
agree with that. That's why I believe if you wait, you don't lose
he's
all
a
those
one-
picks.
he's a
because
1 year deal.
They've stocked a bunch
That's
of
it.
picks up for 2026, and if they end up signing him, they lose some of that, and then I believe my understanding is they keep them. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know how it's so whacked. Like I don't get it. So I think he's in the mix. Minnesota Twins yesterday. I'm gonna come to the defense of Twins.tv for a minute.
Ooh, okay. Let's go.
Okay. First of all, nice job of getting the deal done with the Xfinities and the Fubos of the world. Nice. And, of course, Dish Network. That leaves the YouTube.TV people kind of on the outside looking in. But if you got YouTube TV like I do, you fully expect that you're buying your sports packages. You get it.
Yeah.
But that's why YouTube is cheaper, because they don't have the overpriced sports packages. Now I can choose which one I want!
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's kind of how that works. Okay. So then...
Phil Mackey actually had a great post on X. I'll bring it up here and load it up
Okay,
for you.
and then I'll say this. Anybody who's streamed anything that's worth a damn understands that if you have a brand new product coming out, no matter how much you try to prepare, a pipe is only so big. And if you got tens, hundreds of thousands of people trying to squeeze in at one time, don't go in at game time. Don't go in at the second the first pitch is happening, because that's when everybody goes in. And when you try to park at the old Met Center and everybody came at the same time, what happened?
Bottleneck.
Yes, and a long traffic jam. That's all it is. The internet is no different than that. And so if you don't know that, you're not thinking. Okay,
You're a noob. You're a noob.
That is a wicked interpretation. I love that.
No, I
can visualize it.
But that's the point. And then suddenly everything gets through, and then poof, your game pops up.
Yeah.
And so if you as a viewer ever get into that position, hang on,
So funny.
I'm going to finish this.
True.
If you ever get into that position
Everyone's
on
asked.
a web deal,
Everyone's asked a belly.
what's that?
Everyone's
Yeah,
asked.
100, and you're not moving because you're letting like a couple through at a time because that's all the pipe will let happen. Okay,
Right.
so
Yeah.
best to just get the hell out of there, sit for 15 minutes, relax, then come back in, and then you'll be able to get in.
Yeah.
Okay, then
Without a problem.
Then as far as having the Cleveland game, all these guys out here that are chirping it, in Xville, okay. Have you ever fucking pushed the wrong button? Have you ever in your life? Maybe. Have you ever pushed the wrong button on your first day? For sure. Okay, it's over. But I'll tell you what, it'll be just fine.
Yeah.
And I think $20 a month for 162 games is a great deal. So I'm cool.
Sure.
Okay.
I can understand that.
They get a lot of grace from the Wags here.
They get a lot of grace. I like it. So Phil Mackey came out with this post just the other day, and it set up like Q&A. First question: hey, what channel's the NFL game on? Fox, CBS. Pretty straightforward. And then the next question goes: hey, what channel's the MLB game on? And it goes: if you have Comcast Xfinity, it's channel 1261. For DirecTV folks, it's on channel 668-3. If you're on Spectrum subscriber, it's either channel 428, 468. Goes on and on. And there's a super long response. And then it goes, honestly, the easiest way to watch games is probably just to get a subscription through MLB.TV and open up the app on your phone
Honestly?
or smart TV.
Totally true. I mean, it's totally true.
It
Well,
is.
because it's not a network. So,
Yeah.
They've simplified it.
Harrison Bader,
Yeah.
he just absolutely corked a couple. He had the double down the line. Did you see that highlight?
I missed it.
Against their closer, who was 49
Brinzy
or
was napping.
53. He just absolutely sauteed one in the ninth. Didn't matter, but it was a nice swing. And then he had the home run, so that was really encouraging. Not a bad game, good start, but
They lost.
yeah, I mean, but you know what? You got 162 of them. And if you win, you're going to win
That's a
60.
lot of games.
You're going
A
to win
lot of
60. You're
games.
going to lose
Yeah.
60, and that's what you do with the others that matter the most.
Yeah. And then the other point off the whole TV thing, he had a follow-up post yesterday, and he goes, MLB would be better off taking 90% of its games, the local broadcasts, and putting them in basically like a one-stop shop, like streaming platform.
I would agree with that.
So something that I thought was interesting.
So what I would agree with Phil on that is 100%. Like, if MLB just had one thing where I could subscribe to all of it for the $199 or whatever it is, or if I could subscribe to each individual team, but I should be able to just go to MLB.com in one placeholder. That's what he's saying, right?
Yeah, because he wanted to go and talk about and say, if the MLB were somehow to untangle all 30 local TV situations and package them together for licensing, and he brought up the equation with Netflix too. He went on to say Netflix pays $500 million per year for WWE Raw, which is only a handful of shows per month. And then he was breaking down a little bit further, saying, would Netflix pay $2 to $3 billion per year for daily live programming between March to October, over 2,000 live events in the biggest U.S. markets? And he goes to say, I don't know, but a more streamlined TV strategy needs to happen for the MLB.
Okay, you know what I like about that post, actually?
What?
Is there's like actual thought, solutions, no bitching. Like it's one thing to just bitch.
But
Give me a solution. And that's a good solution. That's
Yeah.
that's some stuff you can put your
Yeah.
teeth into there for sure. By the way, why would Rob Brzezinski give you anything, knowing that you're a famous podcaster?
I haven't disclosed that.
No, but
actually,
he-
until today, because I saw him there again today.
He clearly knows that you're a podcaster because you're on the
he
DigiFan.
knows.
Everybody
He knows.
Oh yes.
He knows.
Why would he give you anything?
Our daughter,
He
our
still
daughter,
trusts him.
our
He
daughters
trusts him.
are best friends.
He trusts him. There's a different type of trust that he has with
I've
them.
been to Rob's house many
I
times.
can pretty much promise you, anybody in those worlds will never give you the full story.
Ooh, I
No,
think-
he won't respond to my text, but he will talk to me.
Yeah,
That's funny.
but he's
smart.
going to talk
That's
to you
smart.
in his words. and
You don't want to write it out. You
Veil
don't ever
things.
want to write it.
Making sure you don't have your voice.
if he knew
Voice
you were on a
recording on.
DigiFan and you were with this group of buffoons, he would fully like.
We should get him in as a
completely-
guest here.
He'd never do that.
He'll clam.
Never?
He'll clam the hell right up.
He'd never do
Okay, Golden Gopher hockey.
All right.
Oh,
Then do we bring in Juge?
Juge is not on right now.
Okay, well we'll just keep ripping.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. You gonna take it?
Yeah, take it. Who is it?
Answer it.
We won't touch. Go ahead.
You're on live.
Hello. Look at the panic.
You're on live.
Hi, Layla.
Oh, hi guys. What's going on?
We're not much.
Can we do a live feed?
we got.
Can we
If
FaceTime?
this is about groceries, we're gonna have to table it.
Well, I'm going to Costco and I
Spot on.
It is about Grosh.
Spot on.
Hey, get the big pack.
Are you going
get
to SLP or EP? Which one?
SLP?
Wag says get the multiply.
I know. Are you going to SLP or EP?
I'm going to Burnsville.
Oh, better parking.
I'm in Burnsville because my
Layla.
Oh my God.
Layla.
Oh my God.
Layla, my wife, Molly, says hello to you. She's just texted. She's been watching the program. She sees that you're on, and she wanted to salute you. Hello there.
oh, you're not fucking kidding that I'm on the.
No,
You're
on.
literally-
You are
you're literally on.
You're live and you're being heard and seen
You're
by the world.
We've got SCC,
We're just-
FCC.
Yeah, we're talking about the Gophers and hockey, and then Doc has to go to an appointment, so we're
Yes,
just
sir.
kind of wrap things up here.
Okay.
Oh,
Talk soon.
Bye, Layla.
you go. Okay, bye guys.
Costco forever.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Am I actually on? Oh gosh. Okay,
Can
go
I
Where
just say,
were we?
real quick before we start?
Gophers.
I just want before we start, just tell my wife Molly how much I love her. Flowers,
Very
hearts.
sweet, very sweet.
I love it. That's awesome. Gopher hockey.
Where are we at?
We're gonna bring Juju on.
Okay.
No, Juju's not on right now.
Go for hockey. Like,
Where do we start?
Yeah.
I mean,
Walk us through this.
The Big Ten co-champions lose in their playoff against the quote lowly Irish of Notre Dame, who usually aren't bad, but you host a best of 3 series and you lose. You get dumped out of a top seed. But what's really weird,
Yeah.
you know, people like complain about like Alabama and certain SEC teams that they get. Minnesota gets absolutely patty caked all the time. How in the hell do you lose to Notre Dame in your first round series in the Big Ten playoffs, and then you wind up in Fargo 4 short hours away? Meanwhile, Denver is going to, like, I don't know, where are they going to,
Right.
Toledo or whatever?
Yeah.
They went to, like, they're getting on some bad charter with bad buses. The Gophers are given every opportunity every year to do it. They are loaded with NHL draft picks
100%.
up and down. I don't want to hear about Hughlin being hurt. We all get injured. Everybody's hurt. You've got top players all over this lineup. It's unbelievable. When are people going to ask questions? This run now, was it 03, 04, was the last time they won a national championship. We are getting into the same length as what it was from 79 to that era. It's the same thing. So at what level do we look at this and say, "Oh, this is no problem. You fired your basketball coach."
Yep.
But this is like, I don't know, man. Like,
No, you should have.
you
have high expectations.
you've got a 3-1 lead going into the third period. Okay, and fine, a guy can opener's a guy. Maybe it should have been a penalty. I get it, but kill it. Or, well, they couldn't because the puck came out front and the guy blasted home. Okay? So now it's 3-2. Okay, fight back. No, now it's 3-3. Well, fight back. No, now it's 4-3. Okay, now you do late in the game. Jimmy Stuggerud scores a goal. Awesome. We go to overtime. They scored on literally a guy gets blown up in the neutral, maybe a trip, maybe not a trip. It doesn't matter. Turn back up ice. It's a 2-on-3, which turns into a 3-on-3, which turns into a 3-on-5 because they had great back support, the Gophers, and the Minutemen guys went to the bench, the D-men, and you score.
Wow.
You don't deserve to win anything.
Why did D go to the bench?
Because ours
change?
it was 3-on-5 into the Gopher zone.
Yeah.
But they were going our way, and then there was time for a change.
Well, you
So-
better hurry ass.
No, it didn't matter because the Gophers had
Yeah.
5 guys in the zone.
I gotcha.
So it was a harmless entry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And it was just a bad goal. And it's just like, again, year after year after year after
year.
year
Same
after year. Now they're there in the mix. They get to the Frozen Four a lot. They do. And they do some damage and things like that. But at some level, it's just like, what is going on? I don't even know it. I don't know. What is going on? Anybody? Bueller?
I mean, I didn't see that
didn't either.
last goal. Was it fairly weak or what?
Oh, it was insane.
It was a 3-on-5, basically.
You're saying
it
this
was
is
a nut kick.
a Mark Coyle problem?
No, I don't think Gopher hockey is a Mark Coyle problem. I think it's I don't even think it's a coach problem.
Yeah.
I think it's a problem of you're stuck. I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. You can recruit anybody you want. You've got any player you want from the state, and you can do some damage out of the state if you wanted to. What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to not take the top players who become first and second round NHL draft picks and let the other guys take them, or do you take them? What do? You take them?
You take them.
Okay. So then if you take them, we all know the rule is that if you don't sign within 4
X
years
amount,
of
yeah.
you're a free agent.
Yep.
Okay. So if you play your third year, you have to either you're going to sign with them or you're going to say, nah, I'm going to make more as a free agent. I'm out of here. Okay. So then with that situation, that means 3 years after 18. So you're 18, 19, 20, you're out of here. Okay? Everybody's freshmen are 21 because they play junior. Minnesota can ill afford to have guys play junior because they're draft picks. High picks. Low picks, like if you're 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round, whatever. You're not signed. I mean, those are token, unless you just erupt, and that's very rare. Okay, so these top guys, they can't come in as 21-year-old freshmen because they'll be playing in the AHL, the East Coast League, or the NHL when they should be freshmen like everybody else. That's just the nature of the league. Yep. So the question is, does this league get older with the Canadian juniors coming in here, or does it get younger? So that leads me to this. You heard something really interesting with that coach from Texas.
Yeah.
Why don't you share what you heard, because I thought it was really good.
Well, I think it's the parallel is interesting because when we say Texas football, we think that that's equivalent to Minnesota hockey.
Right.
We have the same sort of pool of talent coming through our state, which it's baffling why Wisconsin and the Dakotas never could catch on to it. But Minnesota is a hotbed for hockey. This morning there's some sort of coaches meetings for high school league coaches that's happening in the Twin Cities. So they had a Coach Randall from Richmond, Texas, undefeated season last year, won the state championship. This guy was like, it was on KFan this morning, and his interview with Paul Allen was really I think exceeded anyone's expectations that might otherwise turn the channel if he did high school football. This guy said, number one, you want to coach in high school football in Texas, you got to be a teacher. He was blown away coming here and learning about Minnesota football because you don't have to be a teacher to coach football here. And he said that to
or any sport.
Yeah, or any sport. To him, that was sort of mind blowing.
Foreign language, yeah.
He said he believes that that's part of the system,
the process.
But what
did
did he say? If you want to be a coach, you
get yourself a teacher's job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said.
If you want to coach that bad,
Well, there's some
Put
truth
your
to
money
that.
where your mouth
There's
is.
some
Be
truth
a
to
teacher.
it. You have to know how to teach kids.
Well,
right?
the
And
other
once-
the other
yeah.
thing that he said is at the beginning of the season, he goes in and I remember when my little one went into preschool, the teacher came to our house and wanted to meet us at our house, see our house, see how we interacted with each other. And that's what these Texas high school football coaches do. Because before the season starts, we go to everyone's house, meet them at their house, meet their family, tell them what
that's
the
a lot of
expectations are.
That is
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of visits.
Yeah. And they also want to know that they're from here. They don't take kids that move from Florida to Texas to make the team. It's not allowed.
So they're getting to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of culture.
I think the thing that stood out the most to me, what he said though, is if you want to teach, if you want to coach, get yourself a teaching degree.
Yeah.
And put your money where your mouth is.
Right.
You know, you can't have it both ways.
That's a full commitment to coaching, teaching. There's a lot of parallels
The
there.
greatest thing about
Yeah.
being a teacher coach is you're around the kids in the school too, and there's some level of accountability that goes on in the academic part
there
of it
has
too.
to be if you're a teacher. There has to
this
be.
guy's the tip of the spear. So
Yeah.
what he's saying is what leads to success.
Yep.
Not in football, obviously, but in other aspects of life. Just the commitment. The other thing that is interesting with the parents. So they go. So you get a lot of parents that are whining, and he goes, no. He goes, I've got an open door policy, and if someone wants to come in and talk about why their kid isn't playing, he goes, I also have open practice. I tell the parent, show up at practice, and you'll find out why your kid isn't playing.
Yeah.
You know why
Effort.
why he hides in drills, why he gets plowed by
Why he's in the
other
bathroom
players.
for 10 minutes.
Yeah. So he said, I found that inviting parents to practice answers all their questions about their kid and why he's
Yeah.
playing or not playing.
It's brilliant.
The other thing about the family visits was expectations. And part of the expectations is, are you trying to get into a D1 school? Is that why you're here to get your kid into college? So they
Right.
set the expectations, and he goes, and there are far fewer D1 scholarships than ever before. Why? Why do you think?
There's more talent.
No,
Fifth year, COVID year,
transfer portal.
transfer.
Oh,
They're competing against sophomores
right.
because what is PJ Fleck? He's
And
paying
you're referring to,
attention
like
to
the
the portal.
higher he's referring to like the higher,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
really okay.
Yeah. So, but if with the portal being so easy for kids to move around, coaches have to pay attention. That's where they're doing their recruiting as much as they are out of high school.
Right.
So,
It adds.
So-
It truly becomes a full-on business at this point, and that was
Well,
something
it is.
that.
It's a pro league, is what it is.
Yeah, and that's something that I'll share another thought here in a minute.
Okay, so to tie that together
Yes.
and then go to
Yes.
to tie that together, what I was wondering after you and I were talking about that this morning, I wanted to bring it up that way, because why does it have to be Division I and Division III for college hockey? And one of the things that I was
Versus what? Just
well, I was
all
talking,
D1
I was
one
talking to
level?
a buddy about this earlier today. Or was it you? I don't remember who. If there are going to be more Division I teams, they're going to have to drop 50, 60, 70, 80 million dollars on a new facility to make it D1 compatible for hockey, where they might have really good club teams like UNLV, whoever it is, which they are. And they also will have to either add another women's sport or remove another men's sport, which would be very unpopular. So my question is, okay, fine. Why can't we do a Division II program? Because I think what that's going to do with the Western Hockey League is it's going to keep making it an older league, and it's going to be really tough for this draft pick stuff, and it's going to be messy. Why can't these like really, really strong club teams that have the ability? Why can't we have Division II hockey back like they did in the 80s? And then, because right now, the runoff into D3 is you cannot play Division III hockey unless you play 3 years of junior and you're a 21-year-old freshman, which is crazy.
makes no sense at all.
That makes, yeah.
'Cause
So that
you're,
needs...
you're delaying your regular life.
100%.
What is wrong with Division II hockey? It's at every
Nothing.
other sport.
Nothing.
That's what I think. Go ahead.
No, it was just going to the point of the business that, whether it's especially football, and this was more of a post from a basketball perspective. JJ Watt had just shared, when the portal actually opens, and again, you're talking about not only do you have to, recruit out of high school, but more so than ever before, people are actively recruiting within the existing talent pool. And that was just kind of what he said too, with, timelines, parameters, and seeing that the transfer portal opens the same day. What did he say? Same as the football portal opening before the bowl season ends, when things open up and when you can start moving. He said, it's literally cannibalizing your own sport. And
It
so
is.
I just think it adds a totally different dynamic in terms of
what is it?
It's adding more
recruiting
restrictions.
From that. It's not
and
good.
the amazing thing is how different the two processes are. When when a coach goes to meet the kid's family when they're in high school,
Yep.
with portal recruits, it's a 24-hour. It's a speed date. That's it.
All it is free agency.
Is the last minute of play in the
Wow.
period.
So it's free agency in college sports.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that's going to be interesting to see play out is whether or not culture in programs get hammered with recruits. Like, so if you're a portal troller and you're bringing in, you're recruiting through the portal as opposed to high school
Meeting,
students.
yep.
What's your culture like? Because it's transient. To me, that's going to be worth
Transient is a good word.
watching.
Yeah.
It'd be
It's
interesting.
very it's
Do
almost
your
like
homework.
It's
Do your
very
homework.
fluid, and it's I feel like it's totally college sports to a totally different level.
All right.
All right. Wow. That was a fast hour.
That was a quick one, fellas.
I like it.
Thanks for joining us here at the Metabutte studio, the Meta Sports League studios. Speaking of the Metabuttes, we have to talk Metabutte sometime.
Next week.
All right, for Wags, JC, L. Teagues, and Peanut, I'm Doc. Thanks for joining us. See you next Friday.
Vamos.
Nobody better, brother.
Vamos.
It'll be a live remote
Hey,
next
Doc,
Friday.
I know you're in pain. I
Yeah,
appreciate
he
it.
is.
I
Yeah.
know you well enough. Don't bullshit me. You're not feeling good. Thank
Yeah.
you for doing that. I know that was